Hello everyone, people of the world. I came to this world not to deceive anyone but to expose the hidden truth of the Bible. Yes, you heard it right. The hidden truth of the Holy Scriptures. I am not fluent in English, but I need to speak to you, world, every race to understand. I will not going to use my own language because I need everyone to know, to understand, to learn the deeper wisdom of God's words in the Bible. It's already end of times. If I will not reveal what I saw, what I learned, what I have experienced and experiencing, then who else? No one. I am telling you, nobody else. I have been in so many ministries, in gathering of faith, in prayer rallies, and of course in Sunday masses. No one has the wisdom to interpret the mysteries of many prophecies. I came to exist in the public to speak up to you in my identity you are seeing now in your screen. I am expecting some skeptical, some have full doubts, perhaps some are half to believe the manner of believing and faith to God. To those who have doubts, study and review what I am revealing to you. Think 100 times whether I am false or truth. People of the world, you must know first of all that the Bible mysteries, codes, and parables are not interpreted through math computations or physics or chemistry, astrology, calculus, whatever. It doesn't need to be like Einstein or famous philosopher and other great minds in history to know or to see what is hiding inside the Bible. This doesn't need to be like Shakespeare in literature. God doesn't want eloquent to see what's inside in its verse in the Bible. Who is perfect in this world? No one. You know what God requires? A clean heart. He or she may not be perfect, but it takes to have a great faith to God. A faith that ready to dedicate the whole life in his or her remaining time on earth. This is only a matter of choice whether you want to continue or living an earthly life, or you want to live all the pleasures in this planet. Almost all of humans don't take risk because the mindset is, I only live once on earth. Why should I gamble with God that I don't see? That is usually the mindset. But if you take it with passion, everything will follow, including miracles, things beyond imagination, phenomenon that only your heart can understand. And that is exactly what happened to me. Abraham did not complain to God, "Why should I kill my only son?" he said. "Why should I kill my only son, Isaac?" Abraham said, "You gave this child, one and only son I have, then I will take his life to offer?" No, Abraham did not complain nor angry to God. it takes to have a simple mind with God's wisdom. A simple being on earth, humble and lowly in heart. Jesus Christ have no degree in school, yet they called him teacher. He did not learn anything in medicine, yet he cured the sick and the blind. In physics, he disproved the law of gravity when he ascended into heaven. In biology, he was born without the normal conception. Peter was a fisherman, yet the church called him the first pope. With all of this, you will realize God does not want an extraordinary people to serve. God does not want intelligence, a high degree with doctorate, with honors and masteral whatever. The Bible has so many wondrous things that God hides. God had put them in parables, in stories and in code names. As you can see in the book of Revelation, that full of mysteries, full of unexplainable events and prophecies. People have tried to interpret all of these mysteries, but they cannot be able to connect it from the past. God's history is a one huge picture that were shattered by sins of Adam and Eve. And now, this is what I am going to tell you, people of the world. If not the whole picture, at least the most important part I am seeing will shed light. Will shed light in your heart. People of the world, first I just want to let you know that I am not really a vlogger. But in the long run, I might become one of the bloggers in the planet. I created my channel to give my messages to all of you. I belong to the Eastern race in the Far East, living somewhere in this world. I may hide my identity, but that doesn't matter at all. What is important, you know what? All my messages in this end of times, yes, it is timely. So you need to listen very carefully, because if not, you will lose or might lose one of whole of your life. You might not be able to catch all the glory in heaven if you miss this once in a lifetime opportunity. I apologize to you the way I look, but I hope you won't be bothered. The essence of my messages is what it matters most. Even my poor English, just ignore. I can't be able to speak fluently in English because I am simply an Eastern guy, not an Englishman. In this end of time, you must be aware of those who speak full of snares, those who speak with their candy-coated tongue, as they are only after their interest. Be careful nowadays, people of the world. If you hear something that is too good to be true, take a break. Rethink several times, as you might seeing a gold mine on top of the quicksand. My messages to you might not help to your earthly living, but might help to you spiritually. The enemies of Jesus Christ are now in progress somewhere in this world. developing. So be aware. The drastic change in this world economically and spiritually. Be strong. Do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul even to the most difficult times of your life. I came into this end of times to tell and to disclose of many things. Because I know what is the truth. Remember John the Baptist, who paved the way before Jesus Christ came out to the public life. Yes, I am one of the servants of God who have lived on earth as a normal human being. I am just like you, with so many ordeal in life, so many experiences, ups and downs, frustrations, failures, disappointments, sadness, pains, difficulties, a life with full of sorrows and agony. All these negatives are inevitable because they are equally significant to positive aspects in life. Without the negatives, all will not become balanced. I was not exist on earth like just a mushroom from nowhere, or like a magical existence, or like from a world of incantasia with full of supernatural occurrences. No. Being a servant of God, you must go all through the standards, the normal ways of a normal human being, just like the life of the apostles of Christ. The apostles were chosen from their simplicity, from their humbleness, from their poorly lives, humility, and lowly living. I exist through one poor family in our country. I may say I was placed by God in the womb as a seventh child to a brave, strong, and fearless, yet very religious mother. Fathered to a very industrious, diligent, hard-working man. That is my father. I helped my younger siblings when I graduated, that drove me work abroad until they finished their education and became professionals. A help to their lives in lieu of using this family as an instrument to raise my being, and perhaps as a token of God's gratitude to this family. When the time came, it was ripe for me to be taken out away from this family until I have lived a life dedicated only to God, doing all things that pertains to godly things. Unexpectedly, my name was changed, and here I am in front of you, talking what I have learned, talking what God's wisdom has infused me, talking what I have experienced, what I saw, the hidden knowledge in the Bible. Yes, the hidden wisdom from the parables and codes. I may not disclose everything, for these things are part of God's mystery. You heard it right, God's mystery. I have no authority yet over God's secret. There are so many. I have done my introduction, and now I am going to educate everyone some of the codes to where the true meaning are hiding inside the Bible. Usually these codes are within the parables, from the prophecy to the wisdom of Jesus Christ. Most of interpretations in the Bible are based on simplicity. Just think simple things. No grandeur, majestic, and elegance. Just the reverse of what you are expecting. We are not in heaven yet. Bible are the group of books that one of the surviving God's words in our era. We have modern discoveries from ancient manuscripts or handwritten scribes or scroll. Apart from the Bible, like for example, the Dead Sea Scroll, the book of Judas Iscariot, and the book of other apostles that were recently discovered. And I almost forgot the book of Enoch that contains so many contradictions against the Bible. If you ask me about the book of Enoch, whether it is God's words or not, I personally testify that this book is authentic and from God. You may find yourself confused when you also read the Gospel of John, Peter, Matthew, and Mark. But do you know that this is part of God's plan? A setup to humanity. Not to mislead, but to analyze, to study, to compare, to dig deeper in searching the truth. Always remember that this world, this planet of human being, of complexity, a world of contradiction, a world of opposite matters. Don't ever forget that we are living and live a life through negative and positive energy. We won't live with only the positive power. Likewise with only the negative power. We are inside the earth, inside the power of science. Through atom we exist. If not all of these contradictions, these opposite matters, we will not going to exist. If God, for example, put the North Pole, He also put the South Pole, likewise the West, to balance with the East. When God created the water, He also created the earth, or the soil. When there was a fire, there also was a wind. These are what we call the four living creatures in the Bible. Therefore, God's words on earth, take note the word earth and not heaven. I am saying God's words on earth are complex or conflicting, and that is because of earth's science. And this doesn't follow one or the other, are not true or hoax or false. When we say negative, does it mean bad? Does it mean not right? Does it mean hoax? Negative and positive are equal. And this is the base of Earth's principle, or shall I say the basic of law of attraction. And this is the basic reason why God made His words on earth also contradicting. Do not make me wrong. Analyze your thoughts. How deep is your understanding? Do not make it shallow. Dive deeper. God has just made His words scientifically as well, aside from spiritual. because it is meant for the earth and not for heaven. One proof is this simple question: why me as a normal human being understand the contradiction of the gospel of Judas Iscariot compared to John, Peter, Mark, Luke, and Matthew in the Bible? The clergy or the church have excluded the gospel of Judas Iscariot. Why? Because of contradiction. Simply because in AD 325, Constantine wanted all the gospels conform each other or align with the apostles' testimony. And I completely understand this because they are the church, they are the authority. They want always to tend the positive aspect and thrown out the negative. But in the law of attraction, you cannot disconnect the negative likewise in the reality of life. And God's words were not meant for the church exclusively, but for the entire world, for humanity. No one can hide the truth. No one can hide the reality of negativity. Later, I will reveal the hidden truths of the Gospel of Judas in my other videos. The truth of this Gospel laid down in the abyss. With my mediation, we can bring it up to surface. We are in the end of times as prophesied in the Bible of Matthew. The signs of the times are already revealed. Those signs are currently happening nowadays. It was written that signs are nations against nations, rumor of wars, kingdom against kingdom, civil unrest, calamities like earthquake, floods, wildfires, and volcanoes, and other phenomenal signs. All these are happening nowadays. There are signs that are not happening yet, still has to come. So no doubt that we are now in the end of times. We are not hoping that the year 2025 will be the harder year than 2024. But as the prophecy says, it will happen certainly, where prayers will be the most powerful weapon of the oppressed. I just want to make it clear, God is not intent to confuse us as far as His words is concerned. It is not His intention to have contradictions, but because who wrote all His words were merely humans, written both spiritually and scientifically. It all happened naturally. All did not happen perfectly, and I have said this world is not perfect. On the contrary, if the world is perfect, then God's words are all perfect. Where writers and prophets are all perfect as well. We will all are united as the children of God, intact in faith, no religions, no divisions. All are the children of God in perfection. That is what I mean perfect God's words. Every word, every line, every context is written not in any books but in every heart of human being. This blog or messages to all of you is the same as not perfect. When you hear me speaking a broken English, it doesn't follow that my messages are wrong. When you see me in a dim light or in the dark that looks I am hiding my identity, is not revealing, it doesn't mean I am a hoax. many of you will going to be skeptical on me. Some of you might believe, some of you will criticize, and that is natural. As I have said, we are in an imperfect world. I am hoping that you will not look up the way I communicate. You will not after a perfect English and a perfect pronunciation, but rather you prefer to search the core, the essence, the spirit of many messages in this end of time. As we all know, inside the Bible, in the New Testament, Jesus have said in John 2:19, and it says, "Destroy this temple and I will raise it again in 3 days." This quote is an epitome of codes and its meaning. The temple is Jesus' body and not referred to the house of God. Destroy means to end his life, and raise means to resurrect or bringing back his life. And the Pharisees did not know or understand the codes used by Jesus Christ. These codes have already been foretold to us, sitting as an example to other codes hidden in mysterious ways in the scriptures, in every parables and prophecies. I will now open the codes and the meaning of some parables in the Bible. So listen very carefully and open your heart, not only your mind.